Ladies, let's talk about good guys versus bad boys. Who likes the bad boys? Estefania.
I kind of like my bad boys.
So tell us about that.
What's your definition of bad boy?
When I see a bad boy, I see like a guy that has like tattoos, that's like cute and tall. He might break the rules sometimes.
In what way?
Like maybe sneak out from home to see me or something like that. I mean, I had my bad girls moments when I was younger, teenage years, sneaking out once maybe.
Or twice.
Once, then never told my mom. And I mean,
you snuck out to go be with a boy?
It was just to like chill. We talked about bad boys. For good guys, the guy that's always gonna pamper you, be there for you, obviously.
Fix your toilet when the guy you're having sex with clogs it up.
Well, both bad boys and good guys should definitely know how to clean or fix a bulb or something like that. I don't like
Picks up a new mattress when you and the guy you're actually having sex with break it.
No, that's so mean.
And he's hoping. They call him the Harry Honda.
Harry Honda.
Harry Honda. He comes over in his little Honda Accord and his toolbox, and your battery's dead. No problem. He'll bring you a new battery. Put that in your car. Oh, you got a flat tire? No problem. He'll take that and to the Goodyear place and get it fixed for you. Looking for a few attaboys, hoping he can get a little access maybe, or he'll get a chance eventually with you. They call him the Harry Honda.
Interesting. I never heard of that one.
One of my female viewers told me about him.
Oh.
The Harry Honda type.
Really? Interesting. Oh no. If you're changing
So that's the nice guy.
Yeah.
In other words, he doesn't have enough going to just say, well, she's not into me. I'm going to go find somebody else.
Kind of.
He's still sticking around, being a male orbiter, hoping someday his number will be up.
Oh, no, I'll be straight up with people. I'm like, look, there's
But he's still holding out hope.
No, I don't like that. I hate that.
Yeah, but they're out there.
I hate that. There was one guy, oh my God. He was like a bad boy. He's a little bad boy. But it was just, he was doing too much, and I didn't like it. And it was just to a point where, like, I didn't want to link up with him ever again. Because it's just, like, if you're uncomfortable, I don't want to, like, do that all over again. In another situation, I wouldn't want to do that. So, yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong with a good guy. Just don't be way too good to the point. Yeah, don't be way too good to the point where you come off very submissive.
And don't be available all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
be more masculine than the girl you're dating.
Well, what would be your definition of a good boy and a bad boy? Because I'm still trying to understand what even is a good guy and a bad guy.
I mean, it just depends on the person. Like, for me, a good guy would be someone that is very...
Too nice.
A gentleman.
Too nice.
Clingy?
I mean, nice, but not, again, like I mentioned, not too nice to a point where he comes off, like, submissive. But, like, good guy as in, like, a gentleman. I just see a gentleman overall.
He's dangerous, but kind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not dangerous and an asshole.
Yeah.
Insecure jerk-off. Which I'm sure you probably met some of those. They're controlling. Who are you talking to?
Yeah,
those are annoying.
It was so bad. There was one my freshman year.
Where have you been?
Even he would leave me in the table. He would go to the bathroom and he'll come back. Did anyone talk to you? No, dude, relax. That's not even a question. Like, hey, babe, I'm back. How are you? You could say that, but I don't like that either. Yeah, no.
He's insecure. On some level, he doesn't feel he deserves you. And then eventually you're like, you know what? You don't deserve me.
Yeah. That was the first time I remember what Caroline said. Now you know, like when you see a red flag, you dip. That was the first time I experienced that. When I saw the red flag, I dipped right away. I didn't wait so long. And I don't know how in the first relationship I waited so long. I was upset with myself.
You didn't know.
I didn't know, but I was so quick to do it the first time. I was so quick to just leave. So quick. Because of that behavior. But yeah. Going back to the good boys and bad boys.
That's the crazy thing about insecurity. Like, you're so you're so worried and scared that you're gonna lose that person, but then that insecurity is gonna increase your chances of losing that person. So,
That is true.
it's a challenge. It's a challenge. We all have our insecurities and whatnot, but we have to learn how to deal with them.
See reality as it is.
Yeah.
Instead of falling in love with their potential.
What's your definition of a good boy and bad boy?
Well, a good guy's a dangerous but kind guy. He's a gentleman, but he's not going to take shit from anybody. He's going to live his life on his own terms. He's going to be authentic. He's going to be real. He's going to speak his mind, even if people get pissed off. Like, obviously, we are experiencing on TikTok. It's like, I'm going to speak my mind. I know what I'm talking about, and I understand that people that are overreacting have certain wounds, but that's not my problem. And at the end of the day, what you observe, you participate in. And so some of those people will end up going to the website, will end up going to YouTube and watch my videos, and some of the biggest skeptics eventually become some of the biggest advocates because stuff works. You know, truth is self-evident. It doesn't need an explanation or justification. It simply is. And so when people apply it, they get the results. I had an email, a newsletter that we did, it's probably 3 or 4 months ago, maybe 5 months ago at this point. It was a woman who was like that. She had the crazy hair and piercings and was, had daddy issues. She was into all the woke stuff and pronouns and the whole, 9 yards. And she, I can't remember why, but she was involved with a detective that was working on her case. And then after the case was resolved, he asked her out on a date, and he was a total gentleman. He was confident, dangerous, but kind, chivalrous. He was a man. He knew how to act like a man. She tried jerking him around. He didn't let her jerk him around, and she respected him. And she totally fell in love with him. They've been married for a couple of years, and she was like, whoa. You're like perfect. You're like no guy I've met has ever acted like this. And he was like, Corey Wayne's 3% man. And so they both have read the book, and I think she grew her hair back out and became more feminine and normal, and she's so strong. These women that are going berserk on TikTok have a total lack of masculinity, strong masculinity in their lives, and so they don't feel safe. They don't trust men. I mean, a lot of them posted that they were abused by their fathers or they were abandoned or whatever. So it's understandable when somebody's masculine or talks about these concepts, they get butthurt and offended because their whole identity revolves around the polar opposite of that, because they get into that cultural Marxism, the victim type of thing, the beware the patriarchy, and the man-hating kind of feminist nonsense. And when you bring strong masculinity to something like this, detective did, it caused her to melt. She felt safe and comfortable trusting his masculinity, his leadership, and she purrs like a kid now and absolutely fucking adores her husband. And it's because of what he learned in my book that he applied and he absolutely mastered. He was a great student, but he was not a doormat. He didn't put up with their shit, because women like that they're hell on wheels. But if you show up as a man and you act masculine, it makes them feel safe enough to relax and trust your leadership, and they'll follow you anywhere. They'll submit to you willingly, not because you manipulate or control them. They just feel safe to do that.
I don't know. I mean, I guess you can think of like the stereotypical like tattoos, motorcycle, but like I don't look at it that way. I look at it as like the one that like is emotionally unavailable. Like in my mind, that's what a bad guy is. The ones that are like emotionally unavailable but like string you along.
Oh yeah, been there, done that.
Yeah, that's what I think of a bad boy. And then like the good guy is the one that's like really good at communicating, like telling you like how they feel. And personally, I have experienced both within the last little bit, and I found myself more drawn to the one that didn't tell me how he felt, because I was like always like wondering like what can I do to like get it out of him. Like I found it more of like the chase was fun.
A challenge.
It's a scientific fact that women are more attracted to men whose feelings are unclear.
Mm-hmm.
That sucks.
And then when the guy that told me like how he felt, like just like straight up, I was like, that's kind of weird. Like, why would you tell me that? Like, I don't know. Like, I found it very strange that they were like so like open and honest like up front like after like 2 dates. Like I don't know, like kind of
Well,
turned me
because
off.
of your background and how you grew up, that the emotionally unavailable man is gonna feel that's gonna feel normal to you. You're
Mhm.
emotionally anchored to actually be attracted to that because that's what you experienced with the absence of your father in your life.
Mhm.
And so when men make you feel the same way you did when you were growing up as a little girl, it's like, ooh, you're versus a guy that's just being real and he tells you that he wants you and wants to make a date. You're going to be more inclined to like, why is that guy doesn't like me? All these guys are after me. Why hasn't he called me back yet? I was like, what's he doing? Is he dating somebody else? What's going on?
He must be sleeping sometimes.
Maybe he's sleeping. Maybe he's sleeping with somebody else.
I agree with Macy though.
Deep
Like
thoughts
I
by
think
Jack Candy.
that's a pretty good example of a good guy and a bad boy.
The bad
yeah.
boy, you're like, if he'd be perfect if he could just be a better communicator.
Yeah.
He'd be perfect if he could just hold down a job.
With the way that Macy depicted her view on a bad boy, I mean, I've been there, done that. A guy that strings you along, it's really annoying.
The words and actions gotta match.
It's really annoying. But the good guys, obviously, they give you the time of day, which I think is very important. A woman, definitely a great communicator as well.
Every time I see the word bad boys, I actually picture the Bad Boy movie.
Yeah, me
Like
too.
that. I'm like, ooh, bad boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Like, literally. That's what I think of. Will Smith, coming out. Like,
Yeah.
that's what I think of. He wasn't ready to, like, settle down, but his partner was. I think it was, right?
Wait, who?
In Bad Boys.
On Bad Boys.
Will Smith and I forgot the other guy.
Martin Lawrence.
Martin Lawrence, yeah.
Martin Lawrence was
or-
married.
yeah.
I remember he had his daughter, because there was a scene where the daughter, I think, was going to prom or to a date, and the guy comes.
Oh yeah, I remember. and
then
he basically scares the guy. Like he
Yes.
tries to intimidate him.
both him and Will. It was just hilarious.
I mean, eventually they got married, right? If I can recall, like
Later on, yes.
Yeah, I think it was the last movie, the third movie.
I think
if
she was
can recall.
pregnant at that time too.
So
I think so.
You want to hear a crazy story? So one of my girlfriends, who I fucking will love to day I die, and I wrote about in my book, her dad, her older brother was telling me the story that when her dad went and asked her mother's father for permission to marry, this guy was like a old school, total fucking redneck, and my girlfriend's father was a state trooper his whole life. And so, I don't know, they're like 18, 20 years old, 21, whatever it was, and he says, "I like your permission to marry your daughter." And dude fucking decked him, knocked his ass right the fuck out. And then when the guy, he came to, he's like, "Why'd you do that?" He says, "Because I felt if you were strong enough to take that, then you were strong enough to marry my daughter."
Dang. Wow.
That guy he was in his 90s when he died. And so when my girlfriend and her brothers were kids and they'd be running around his backyard, so he'd get pissed off and throw fucking hammers at him.
Oh my god.
He was kind of a lunatic.
Yikes.
But can you imagine? Like, literally knocked him right the fuck out. Just punched him without warning. Right in the face.
He had a
Hard as he
bruise
could.
or something.
Knocked him out. Then he came to, he's like,